and Surah Tauba 9 and 111 ayat. Who are those people who are establishing the Tawrat and Injil and how they have to do it? Inna Allah ashtara min al-mu'minina anfusahum wa amwalahum bi annahum al-jannah yuqatiluna fi sabilillah fayaqtuluna wa yuqtalun wa'adan alayhi haqqan fi at-Tawrah wal-Injil wal-Quran wa man awfa bi'adihi min Allah fastabshiru bi bai'ikum alladhi ba'yatum bih wa dhalika huwa al-fawzul azim. Surely Allah has purchased from the believers their souls and selves and psyche and their wealth. And with assurance that guardian is for Him, they fight in the way of Allah, they kill and they get killed. A promise on Him in truth in At-Taubah and in Al-Injil, the good news, and in Quran. And who can fill with His promise than Allah? Then rejoice with your deal that you bargain with Him, and that is the supreme achievement. Now, previously I read an ayah that was referring to the people of the book. They have to establish the Torah, the law. They have to establish Injil, the good news. This I have already read it. Now, in this ayah, Allah says, Inna Allah, there are three, that Allah has taken a promise in this ayah. People who establish the Torah, people who establish the Injil. Who are those people? We are reading about those people. In this ayah, Allah says that Allah's promise is binding on the people in the Torah, in the Injil and the Quran. The three words are mentioned in this very same ayah. The Torah, the word is there, Injil is there, and the Quran is there. Now we have to see that what has happened. Allah, Inna Allah, hashtara min al-mu'minin. Allah has purchased from the believers anfusahum, their nafs or their psychology, their nafs and the psychology. Wa amwalum, and their wealth. Bi anna lahum al-jannah, and with assurance that the garden is for them. That is the assurance that Allah is giving. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you see, I will read this ayat. This is a very, very important ayat to understand. Every ayat is very important, but you know, if you don't understand, then how can we follow? You see, we all, mankind, Muslims or submitters to Allah, are trying that we do not burn in hellfire on the day of judgment. We want to go into the garden. That's our motive. That's our aim. Every Muslim submitter for Allah, his aim is that he wants garden on the day of judgment. That's the purpose. He doesn't want to be burned in the fire, right? So Allah, we want to sell things like commodities, like some shop. So there's a person who wants to sell things. So people go and buy. So we people are sitting in, suppose I've got a department store, I'm sitting in my store, people are coming and buying things. So that is how the business is. So when he comes and buy, he takes this, I take money. That's the normal way of doing business. So you sell the commodity, you get the money. That's it. Similarly here, if you note, Allah is purchasing your psyche. He is purchasing your soul. In against what? For assurance that you will get garden. And your wealth. Two things he is purchasing. Or from the believers. Now, if I want to sell my soul and Allah purchases my soul, can I, or if this commodity is mine, if I have sold this commodity and the commodity is taken by the person and he gave me the money, so this commodity is not mine anymore because he bought it. When he bought it, so it's not mine, right? You understand this simple thing? So when my psyche or the soul is being purchased by Allah, it's not mine. So I cannot govern my life according to my vain desires now. Because the moment Allah purchases my psyche, my soul, myself, that means I am totally in control, or I have totally submission to Allah. So I will be governing myself according to ayat, because it's not mine. Myself is not mine. That my I has gone. It has been killed. Ana means I, myself. If Allah purchases my soul, so I will do what Allah wants me to do. If I am doing my own, that means I have not purchased and Allah is not, I have not sold, I have not sold my psyche and Allah has not purchased me. So you have to sell your soul, meaning you have to sell your psyche. that what your psychology, what your desires are, what your aims are, what your wills are, whatever you want. So Allah says, Inna Allah ashtara min al-mu'minin. Surely Allah purchases from the believers. Remember this, from the believer He purchases anfusahum, their souls, their psyche, and from their wealth. Bi'anna lahumul jannah, with assurance that you will get garden. So if you lead your life according to your painful desires, that means you have, Allah is not purchased. You are sitting in the market thinking that Allah will buy you, buy your psyche. He will purchase your psyche. So if you are a true believer in this true sense in the eyes of God, you must make sure till before you die that Allah purchases your psyche. When He purchases your psyche, that means you are total in control of Allah. You don't have your own will. Your will is total submission to Allah. That is the meaning of Muslim. You completely submit to the will of Allah. And if you are not able to do it, that means Allah has not purchased your psyche and you are not a believer in the eyes of God. That's written in here. So when He does it, your behavior becomes like this. يُقَاتِلُونَ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. That means they fight in the way of Allah. The translation, they fight in the way of Allah. فَيَقْتُلُونَ. Then they kill. وَيُقْتَلُونَ. And then they get killed. The three process. First they fight in the way of Allah. Then they kill their souls. They kill. فَيَقْتُلُونَ وَيُقْتَلُونَ. And then they kill themselves. Now this you have to understand. Any nafsiyat, in my psyche there is some suppose that I like something and I want to wish, I've got a wishful thinking in my psyche. Now I have to fight. If it's not in accordance with Allah's command, it's not with the commandment of Allah's order. So I have to fight that particular desire of mine. By fighting it, I have to finally kill it. First I'll fight and then kill and get killed. I will kill and I get killed. Three aspects. Fight in the way of Allah, my psyche. Then they kill and they get killed. That means that desire is no more yours because you have sold yourself. Yourself is being sold. Allah has purchased your soul. Allah has purchased your psyche. Nafs in Arabic means psyche. What your feelings and your emotions are locked up. You have to govern your psyche. So they have been purchased by Allah. So that is what here it is. So then Allah says, وَعْدًا عَلَيْهِ حَقًّا فِي التَّوْرَاتِ وَالْإِنْجِيلِ وَالْقُرْآنِ. And that is the promise binding upon Allah in truth, on Him in truth, fit Tawrah, in the law. Wal-Injil, the good news. And in Quran, the Quran means the reading. So now we have to understand the three words in translation. Tawrat means how the Allah's wa'adan ali haqqan fit Tawrat. The promise on Him in truth in the Torah means the governing ayahs, is the hukum of Allah, the governing ayahs, all the governing ayahs, the signs, and Al-Injil, the good news, mean confirmation of the Torah, the law, and a Moza, a sermon. And in Al-Quran, the reading, that is the confirmation and explanation of Al-Kitab, the first ayat that read. So in the Torah means you have to follow the Muhkam ayahs, the governing ayahs. You see, what are the, I'm saying Muhkam ayat, governing ayahs, like for example, you establish the Salah. It's the Muhkam ayat, that is the Torah. You have to give zakah, that is the Muhkam ayat. You have to go to Hajj, that is the Muhkam ayat, Hukum, that is the Muhkam ayat, Muhkamat. So that is the Torah, the law, mother of the book. So all the Muhkam ayahs like this.
Like charity.
Sorry?
Like charity.
Like charity, zakat, you have to give zakat, charity, that's a Muhkam ayat. Any order, any hukum is a Muhkam ayat, that is the Torah, that is the mother of the book. And events that are recorded is the Asal Hadith. So now this Allah says the Wa'adan alay haqqan fit Tawrat can be upon a person when he follows the Muhkam ayat. So Allah's orders, Allah's wa'ada, His promise is binding on him when you follow the Torah, the Muhkam ayat. And Injil, the good news, you give sermon of the Muhkam ayat. I give good news of you recite the Muhkam ayats. That is a sermon. Injil is a sermon and a hidayat to those who guard. And Quran, the reading. Quran is general reading of all ayahs. Quran, I did an ayah, وَمَا كَانَ هَذَا الْقُرْآنَ يُفْتَرَى مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ وَلَكِنْ تَصْدِيقَ الَّذِي بَيْنَ يَدَيْهِ وَتَفْصِيلَ الْكِتَابِ. Quran is not that can be produced from other than Allah. It is a confirmation what is between his two hands, and it is an explanation of the book. So Quran is a confirmation of the book and explanation of the book, the whole book. But the Torah, the Injil is only the sermon of the Muhkam ayats. That is the difference. It's a sermon and a guidance, but of the Muhkam ayat, because it's a confirmation from the Torah. Injil is a confirmation from the Torah, means the law, the Muhkam ayat. But the Quran is the whole reading of the whole book, is the explanation of the whole book. That's the difference between the Quran and Injil. Now, first, then Allah says, فَاسْتَبْشِرُوا بِبَيْعِكُمُ الَّذِي وَمَنْ أَوْفَى بِعَهْدِهِ مِنَ اللَّهِ فَاسْتَبْشِرُوا بِبَيْعِكُمُ الَّذِي بَايَعْتُمْ بِهِ وَذَلِكَ هُوَ الْفَوْزُ الْعَظِيمُ. And who can fulfill his promise than Allah? Then rejoice your deal that you bargained with him, and that is the supreme achievement. Now in this ayah, Allah says, in this portion of ayah, that who can be more truthful than his promise only except Allah. That means if you sell your soul to Allah, you will get the garden. So Allah said, rejoice. Rejoice. First, فَاسْتَبْشِرُوا بِبَيْعِكُمُ الَّذِي بَايَعْتُمْ بِهِ. Then rejoice means enjoy, rejoice. Rejoice with your deal that you bargained with him. So suppose this is a physical slaughter. As they say, some people say that this is a physical killing. You kill other people and you kill in the way of God. You kill people and get self-killed. How can you enjoy? How can you rejoice? This in life you have to rejoice. In life when you are alive and you have sold your soul cyclically, that as if I was here to sell this, and somebody came and gave me the amount of money which I wanted, he took it, I'm happy, I'm rejoicing. Similarly, my psyche I have to sell, and Allah has to purchase. Allah is purchasing from the believers, and if Allah has purchased that sell, so I'm gone, I'm no more left. My psyche is with Allah, my wealth is with Allah. So when it is gone, so it's not me anymore, I'm just a puppet of Allah, submitter to Allah, Muslim to Allah. So Allah is purchased, so I have to rejoice the deal that I made and bargained with Allah. So this is how you have to sell your psyche. So who can fulfill with his promise than Allah? Then rejoice with your deal that you bargain with him, and that is the supreme achieve. This is the behavior of the believers, and Allah is describing how he purchases the believers. Now, the last of the ayah of this topic is the definition of the believers is more elaborated in this ayah, Surah Ayah.